When the night seems calm to most people, it can hide the silent struggles of those who have nowhere to turn. This story begins on one such cold evening, when a man named Daniel was driving home after a long shift. He was exhausted, ready to collapse into bed, but fate had something else planned for him, something that would change more than just his night. At a red light, he noticed a woman standing near a closed storefront. She wasn't holding a sign or begging for attention. In fact, she seemed to be trying hard not to be seen. Her arms were wrapped tightly around a little girl who looked no older than 7. Something about them made Daniel look twice. It was as if sadness itself was resting on their shoulders. He wouldn't have stopped if he hadn't noticed the girl rubbing her hands, trying to breathe warmth into her tiny fingers. They were both shivering. Against his tiredness, something inside him whispered that he couldn't just drive past. Daniel pulled over slowly and rolled down his window. "Are you both okay?" he asked gently. The woman hesitated, her eyes filled with fear, as if she had learned never to trust too quickly. She looked around, almost hoping that no one had heard her whisper. But when Daniel repeated his question, her lips trembled. We have nowhere to go," she whispered softly, her voice breaking. Those few words carried a weight heavy enough to crush anyone's heart. Daniel felt something inside him tighten. Suddenly his long day, his stress, his exhaustion, none of it mattered anymore. What mattered was this frightened mother and her little girl standing in the cold, pretending to be invisible because they had no other choice. He stepped out of his car slowly, keeping his voice gentle so she wouldn't feel threatened. "It's all right," he said. "You're safe. Tell me what happened." The woman introduced herself as Maya. She explained that she had lost her job 3 months ago. At first, she managed by cutting back on everything. Then came the late rent notices. Then eviction. She tried shelters, but they were full. She tried friends, but no one had space, or time, for someone else's problems. So she kept moving from one place to another, making sure her daughter Lily didn't sleep hungry. But that night, they had run out of money, food, and luck. She had no idea where they would sleep. As she told the story, Maya kept apologizing, as if simply existing was a burden. Daniel couldn't understand how the world had pushed a gentle mother to feel ashamed of needing help. "Please, we won't cause trouble," she said quietly. "We just need a dry place for the night." That was the moment Daniel made a decision he didn't think twice about. He looked at her softly and said, "You do now." Maya blinked, confused. He continued, "You have somewhere to go now. With me. I'm not leaving you out here." For a moment, she didn't move. It was like she couldn't believe someone was offering kindness without asking for anything in return. Lily looked up at him with wide eyes, eyes that had already seen too much for a child her age, and whispered, "Really?" Daniel nodded. "Really." He helped them into the warm car. The little girl sighed with relief as heat wrapped around her. Maya sat silently, tears sliding down her cheek. She tried to hide it, but Daniel saw everything, the exhaustion, the fear, the gratitude. Instead of going home, he drove them to a small diner that stayed open all night. "You both need a warm meal first," he said. Maya tried to protest, but he insisted. Inside the diner, Lily ate like she hadn't had a proper meal in days. Every bite seemed to bring life back into her. Maya ate slowly, still overwhelmed, still unsure if she was allowed to feel relief. Daniel talked to them gently, not like he was rescuing them, but like he genuinely wanted to understand their world. Over time, Maya began to open up. She had worked as a receptionist before losing her job. Lily was in 2nd grade before they had to move constantly. He realized that they were not just homeless, they were forgotten. And too many people walked past them every day, unaware that a single warm gesture could save a life. When they finished eating, Daniel drove them to his house. It wasn't huge or extravagant, but it was warm, clean, and safe. He set up the guest room for Maya and the couch for Lily, piling blankets until she smiled and whispered, "It's so soft." Maya looked around the room, overwhelmed again. "Why are you helping us?" she asked softly. Daniel paused. "Because if my sister or my mother were ever in your place, I'd pray someone would help them. Sometimes, all it takes is one person doing something small, and everything changes." That night, Maya slept without fear for the first time in months. Lily slept with her small hands loosely curled, finally resting like a child should. Daniel sat in the living room with the lights dimmed, thinking about how close he'd been to driving past them. In the morning, he made breakfast, pancakes shaped like stars, because Lily said she liked stars. She giggled for the first time. Over the next few days, Daniel helped Maya search for work. He drove her to interviews, helped her fill out forms, and watched Lily when needed. After a week, she landed a job at a nearby office. She cried again, this time out of hope, not desperation. Within a month, Maya rented a small apartment. Nothing fancy, but it was theirs. A door they could lock. A place they could belong. And Daniel helped her move every box. When everything was in place, Maya looked at him with eyes full of gratitude she couldn't put into words. You changed our lives, she said softly. Daniel shook his head. No, you just needed someone to believe in you. I only did what any person should do. But Maya knew better. Kindness like his was rare. Life had taught her that. Months later, little Lily ran up to Daniel and hugged him tightly. You gave us a home, she whispered. And in that moment, Daniel realized something. He didn't just help them, they had given him something too. They reminded him of the power of compassion, the beauty of humanity, and how one simple decision, one stop at a red light, could change 3 lives forever. Sometimes, heroes don't wear capes. They just listen to a whisper and choose kindness.